Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Today I've got this adorable little You Sweeten My Day pumpkin pie chapstick box. Isn't this adorable? It reminds me of like a little toolbox. The box is perfectly sized to fit a chapstick lip balm. It also fits lip smackers. And this pumpkin pie flavor one is what inspired this You Sweeten My Day box. All right, let me show you the Stampin' Up supplies that I used to create this box. First thing is my photopolymer stamp set, Nothing Sweeter, from the Stampin' Up 2018 holiday catalog, has this perfect little You Sweeten My Day greeting. I'm also using my Detailed Deer Thinlits dies, and I'm using this little solid flower die, not these little loopy ones, but the little solid ones. There's 3 of them in the set. I'm going to pull out one of those right now, and I use that to form this little dollop of whipped cream on the top of the pie. Do you see that? It has a fun little swirly look. It's dimensional. It sticks up off of the pie slice, and that was done with this little flower from Detailed Deer. To complete the little pie paper piecing, I have 1 1/4 inch circle punch, I have 1 3/8 inch scalloped circle punch, and I have a 1 1/2 inch circle punch. I've also got my 1/8 inch handheld punch. My Stampin' pads for this project are soft suede and pumpkin pie. My Designer Series paper is from the Country Lane Designer Series paper. I'm using this pumpkin piece, perfect for my theme here. And I tied up the closure of my little box with this brand new braided linen trim. I love this stuff, and it's great with this rustic kind of pumpkin-y theme. You'll need a Stampin' sponge. I've got my little pumpkin pie one here. And I think that's it. Simply Score tool and a Big Shot will come in handy. All right, so we've talked about the Designer Series paper. Let me show you the cardstock that I've got here. And it's literally from the scrap bag. I've got a piece of Whisper White. You need big enough for a 1 1/2 inch circle and the little flower. So 2 by 3 is perfect for any of these. I've got a piece of crumb cake and what's left from another project of pumpkin pie. 2 by 3 inch scrap is fine for your cardstock needs. All right, I'm gonna get the Simply Scored tool and we'll start building our little box. Okay, I've got my Simply Scored tool here. My Designer Series paper is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it has a directional pattern. If you turn this paper this way or this way, it looks ridiculous. The pumpkins definitely face up. There's stems on the top, and the pattern can't go any other way. So when you're making these little boxes, if you have a directional pattern, you want that pattern up when you place it into the tool. That's how you're gonna start. You're gonna score the Designer Series paper at 3/4 of an inch and at 3 1/2. Then you wanna rotate your paper 90 degrees to the right, and you're gonna score at 1 inch, 1 3/4, 2 1/2, and 3 1/4. Now before you take the paper from the tool, you want to also score starting at this intersecting score line at 1/2 inch. So you're going to find the 1/2 inch, but start your pressure at the intersecting score and stop when you reach the intersecting score. You'll do the same thing on the right side of your paper at 3 3/4. So find 3 3/4, begin pressure at the intersecting score, and stop. The measurements and the scoring marks and a diagram for this is included in the project sheet that's available on the blog post. If you're watching in YouTube, click the link in the description that'll take you right to the blog post. If you're watching on the blog, the project sheet is linked directly below the embedded video. All right, so let's grab a bone folder and start working our creases here. We're gonna skip that first one that doesn't go edge to edge, and we're gonna work the rest, going all the way down. I always work designer series paper inside out so that if there's any cracking or stretching, if the designer series pattern is stressed out and breaks, that'll happen on the inside of the box. And then I flip it right side in. That way the scores are all nice and warmed up and we get a crisp, clean fold on the outside of the box. All right, so I've worked all my scores. Now we're gonna get our paper snips and cut out the corners. So there's a 3/4 of an inch by an inch corner piece here, and we'll cut out all 4. Okay, all 4 corners are cut out. Now we're gonna separate these little tabs. So we've got 3 tabs, 2 cuts, and we'll liberate them from each other. All right, there we go. Now we're ready for some adhesive. I'm gonna use some fast fuse. There's fast fuse on the clearance rack right now. I love this nice strong adhesive. All right, so with a directional pattern, we want the pattern of the front of the box to be upright. So what we're gonna do is start with the box flattened out and outside in front of you. Then you're gonna flip top to bottom and put adhesive on tabs 1 closest to you, 2 in the center. Now we're gonna do that on the opposite side too. Get the tab closest to you and the center tab. Now take the tab with no adhesive and you're gonna bring it in behind the center tab. Fold up, do that on both sides. So the tab with no adhesive goes in and then the center tab with adhesive. Now lastly, we're gonna take the front of the box. See how now our directional pattern is right side up? And when we wrap the front to the back, that continues our directional pattern right side up and gives us a nice clean edge on the front of the box. All right, so there's our box. Now this score line that we skipped, we're gonna go ahead and just gently crease that towards us. You don't need a bone folder here. You just wanna gently crease that score line. All right, time for our chapstick. Here's my little pumpkin pie chapstick. I did include a link to Amazon so you can see what I purchased. I picked them up on clearance. I love me a good clearance sale, especially for craft fair things. I think I got some at Target and some at Walgreens. All right. So we've closed up our box with a little bit of fast fuse adhesive. You can just punch some holes in there and tie the thread. I do a little adhesive for extra security. All right, so I've got my 1/8 inch circle punch and I'm going to pop a little hole centered top to bottom and about 1/4 of an inch in on both sides. And I'm going to run about 12 inches of this braided linen trim through the holes. Now we want to make sure that we're working on the front of the box. So you go in from the front to back and now back to front. All right, let's get working on our tag. We can set the box aside. I'm going to grab the Big Shot and Whisper white cardstock and we're going to cut that little flower. Before I run through my Big Shot, I'm going to punch 1.5 inch circle. And I got that bitty little flower die. Let's run that through. You can run 3 of these at one time, which is another nice feature if you're doing them like I am for craft fairs or mass producing them because you're going to take them to everybody at the office or put them on your Thanksgiving table or whatnot. 3 little whipped cream toppings at one time is pretty awesome. Now the 1 3/8 inch scallop circle, we're gonna punch our crumb cake scrap. And now the pumpkin pie gets punched with a 1 1/4 inch circle. There's our pieces. Got my Stampin' Pierce mat and my soft suede and pumpkin pie. I'm gonna take the pumpkin pie ink and sponge, and we're going to sponge the edge of our pie piece. And this will give the effect of a cooked pumpkin pie, kind of browned around the edges. Gives a nice little dimension to our tag too. Super cute little detail. All right, now before we put everything away, I've got You Sweeten My Day, and I'm going to ink that up with soft suede and stamp it in the bottom left of the pie. So we're really off center, but that's for a reason, because when we put our pie together and take a slice out, we want the greeting to stay intact. Okay, I've got my fast fuse. You can use snail adhesive here, that's fine. I'm going to adhere the pumpkin pie to the crumb cake scallop. Want a nice even crust on our little pie. There's our little pumpkin pie. Now, across from you, I'm going to pick one of the scallops and I'm going to cut in to the center of the pie. And then I'm going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to cut from that one into the center of the pie. So now we've got a nice little wedge taken out of our pie. Get that whisper white circle here. Let's adhere the pie to the tag. I'm going to center that. And now with a 1/8 inch circle punch, I'm going to add a little hole to our tag so we can thread it onto our box. And we need a mini Stampin' Dimensional, just a little bitty one. Going to put it on the back of our slice of pie and pop that little slice just outside of the pie. All right, let's go ahead and thread our tag. Now what I like to do is take both ends of the linen trim, bring it from the back of the tag to the front of the tag. Our braided trim, let's tie a pretty bow. Okay, I got a pretty bow and I'm going to trim off the excess. All right, our last little step here, that flower from Detailed Deer Thinlits, we're going to bend each of the little petals of the flower up and create a little cup. All right, so there's my bitty little cup. Now I'm going to take a mini glue dot and the take your pick tool, pick up the glue dot, and I'm going to fold down my first petal all the way into the center of the little cup and add the glue dot on top, securing that first petal. Now we're going to rotate around the circle, laying down one petal into the glue dot at a time, and we should be able to get all but the last maybe 2 petals stuck down on the glue dot. That glue dot gives some dimension in the center and adheres down each of these little petals. Now a little multi-purpose liquid glue will secure the last couple of petals. And it provides that little spiral effect of a dollop of whipped cream. Wide on the bottom, narrow on the top, kind of tear shaped. All right, so there's our little dollop. We're going to add some more multi-purpose liquid glue on the back. And then take our little pie slice and make it even sweeter. There you go. You sweeten my day. Little pumpkin pie chapstick holder. All right, you guys, if you've got any questions about the project or the products, if I can help you with Stampin' Up order, email me, Marisa, at kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching.